Hi Virgos, welcome to your February 2019 Tarot Scope. This is if you have Virgo Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have a stellium, which is three or more of your planets in the sign of Virgo. So, let me first apologize for not getting your guys' January reading out. I had some other things I had to take care of, but here we are in February, and let's look at what you have. So, let's first start with the new moon. We have a new moon starting today and at its peak tomorrow in Aquarius at 15 degrees, and that is taking place in your sixth house, which you rule. So the sixth house has everything to do with health, has to do with any illness you may be dealing with. It has to do with fitness. It's also the house of work habits and employees and co-workers, and it also has to do with service giving and volunteering. And with new moons, it talks about new projects or new beginnings, and moving forward moving forward with your actions towards your dreams and your goals. And typically around new moons, we have a sense of freshness, a fresh outlook on life, and feeling optimistic about our future. So with that being in your sixth house, I feel like number one, a lot of you may be taking a look at your health, improving your diet or improving your workout regimen, but also your mental health and emotional health. Clearing out the old and what doesn't benefit you, and any toxic thing in your life, so that you bring in a new freshness into your life, and that in itself will help start will give a sign to the universe that you want to attract more of that. So also we have a full moon in the sign of your sign Virgo on the 19th. That is taking place in your first house. So the full moon is the brightest is at its brightest during the lunar cycle, and that talks about shedding light on things that are in the dark, that are unknown. It is also the karmic moon, because during that time you are manifesting whatever intentions you had set 6 months prior during the new moon. So you could be receiving some karmic debt, but this is also a time for you to release anything that isn't beneficial to you, so that you can kind of reshift your karma and clear out old karmic debt, if that makes sense. At this time during the full moon, people are typically at their peak of emotions, and it's also advised of us to kind of rest and be at peace, so that we don't get too emotional, too irrational. And it's also I've heard people say that that's the best time to think positive, and to basically try and feel like you did when the new moon was around, basically. So that's taking place in your first house. First house has to do with your personality, has to do with new beginnings. It also talks about your health and how your body is functioning. With that also, it talks about your appearance. It talks about your attitude towards life, and also your approach and first impressions. The first house has to do with the first impressions you have on people when they first meet you. So I get the sense with this full moon, this is going to be a time where a lot of people may think you aren't acting like yourself, but it's not that. This is a time where the experiences you've experienced, whether long ago in life, or I feel like it's more recent, you're letting it shape you into a better person. With that full moon, you're clearing out, like I said, all that toxic stuff that doesn't benefit you, whether it be physically, like I said, with your diet, anything that isn't benefiting your health, or mentally, or in your life, whether it be toxic people that no longer benefit you. This is a time where you can clear it out, and you can reshape your approach on life, and your appearance physically, because you already know when you release stress, you physically look better, because you feel better. So with the cards here, we have major arcana of the world, we have major arcana of the tower, we have eight of pentacles, which has to do with earth signs, we have six of swords, which has to do with air, In the middle, we have major arcana, the Hangman, Seven of Wands, fire, Ten of Pentacles, earth again, major arcana, the Empress, which is deals with the signs of you, Virgo, Libra, and Taurus. And we have major arcana, the Magician, which has to do with Aries and Taurus. So I get the sense that whether recently or soon to come, there is something that is going to happen in your life that's going to catch you off guard, because that's what the Tower energy about. The Tower energy is something you really can't prevent it. You know what I mean? But I get the sense that you kind of saw it coming on the horizon with this Hangman, because the Hangman has to do with stalling, has to do with, indecision. You're not making a decision, because if you look at him, he's just suspended in the air. He's not. Oop, is it too dark? He's suspended in the air, and he's not making a decision. But I get the sense that you guys kind of already saw that coming on the horizons, and with that Eight of Pentacles, you were slowly working out a plan A and a plan B and a plan C, because typically Virgos, they come out with, they got 7 different plans. If this one don't work out, they go with the next plan. So you all were steadily working behind the scenes so you be ready for this transformation. So while everyone's kind of running around with their head cut off like chickens, you already had a plan. And I feel like that's going to benefit you. Now with this Seven of Wands has to do with defending what's yours, standing up for yourself, people trying to come at you and attack you. I feel like that's going to be the issue. I get the sense that some people may give you some kind of flack, or may shoot some negativity your way because you did prepare. And now you're kind of protecting, defending yourself. Because while they may have just been going on, moving on, doing whatever they wanted to, you were behind the scenes, planning and understanding and knowing that this Tower energy was eventually going to come. You may not have known when it was going to come, but you knew it was going to come, and you were working on it. And this, like I said, this is going to change your world with this World card, and it's in your favor. With this Magician card, like I said, you with this Eight of Pentacles and the Magician, you were working on this. You were preparing yourself for this. Now, when I see the Tower and the Empress both on the in the same spread, I get the sense that some of you may find out that you are pregnant, because the Empress does symbolize the ultimate energy of a mother, like just the motherly energy. So some of you may find out you're pregnant. So congratulations. But if that's not the case, I feel like that may be the end result for you, because you were prepared. You aren't so stressed out while everyone else is trying to rebuild with their foundation. You've already established a foundation, because you also have this Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles has to do with generational wealth. It has to do with wealth in general, but wealth, not just some fly by night wealth, actual wealth that you worked on. It can deal with the stocks or the bonds, or just you putting away little money at a time, or a project that you worked on that has now turned out to be something that is beneficial for you. So basically, if I were to put a story with this, if there was a situation where a job had to lay off people, you would be the one who, you kind of predicted it and you kind of saw it ahead of time. So you had already updated your resume, or you had went back to school and got a degree. So when the time came for those people, for the job to lay off people, you had already had a plan. And now this plan is working out in your favor. You're actually getting more money than your previous job, because you have the qualifications and the experience and the what's that called? Recommendations, a good reputation that made you look like a favorable candidate. You aren't stressed that this Tower energy is here, because you've already prepared for it. And with the Six of Swords, the Six of Swords talks about moving away from one area of your life and moving towards another. But in her boat, she has 6 swords. Swords are thoughts, they're memories, they're experiences. So you're taking what you've learned and moving and using it to move forward in life. Let's see if I can pull anything else to kind of give a better scope of this. I hope this helps you guys, because I feel like, I definitely feel like you all, you know, we're definitely working behind the scenes on something. And with this Tower card, you'll know exactly what this Tower energy is when it hits you, because it's not a subtle energy. It's something that just kind of comes on at you. And some people can detect it and some people can't. But it all depends on if someone's, you know, watching. And like I said, you were behind the scenes preparing for it. Let's see. We have Major Arcana Strength. You could be dealing with a Leo, but I also feel like that can be that's self-explanatory and could be talking about having the courage and the strength to move on and to prevail whatever energy is currently taking place at this time. Let's see, can I get one more card for Virgo? I also got a new deck. I got the Gilded Tarot. My mom got it for me. And they say the best tarot decks are the ones that are gifted to you. So I'm giving my mother a shout out. I'm so happy. Let's see. Any more cards for Virgo? Okay. Not too many. There we go. You got the Page of Swords. Now let me tell you something about Page of Swords. Page of Swords is air energy. It could be a younger air sign in your midst. But I feel like right now the Page of Swords goes back to that 7 of Wands. Somebody or some people are around you, maybe gossiping about you. And they think the end result is going to be that Tower card, but little do they know you've kind of already expected this and have been working towards it. So it's not going to phase you. Like I said, with that Strength card coming out with it, you've got the courage. You kind of already expected this, and excuse me, that was a card. And you're not going to let that phase you. No, not at all. I like this. I really do. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely felt a shift this past January with the eclipses going on. And I think, let me see, we had it in Capricorn. No, it didn't. Well, yeah, it had it in Capricorn, so it definitely affected the earth signs. But I feel like it was a shift that kind of knocked you off your feet for a moment and kind of threw you off a game, but it was a Saturn energy. It's not going to be the happiest at the moment, but when it passes, you feel better. You feel like, okay, things are finally starting to fall in place. Okay, so next I'm going to do a mini love forecast for you guys, because you guys didn't get a January reading. Let's see what is going on in Virgo's love life. Ooh, there we go. Let's see what is happening in Virgo's love life. Let's see, we have engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Let me see if I can pull any clarifying cards. So some of you could be getting engaged. Some of you could be getting engaged with a baby on the way. Just saying. Let's see what clarification for this engagement card. That could also be the Tower energy as well, because like I said, Tower energy, it shakes things up. Let's see, clarification with this engagement. Let's see, we have Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles, again, Earth energy. It talks about stability. It talks about wow. It talks about being, like I said, being stable and being secure. So that could be one of your, requirements in your love life. You want to make sure that you guys are financially secure. Next, you have out the Lovers. So you definitely, and like I said, this engagement doesn't necessarily have to be a formal engagement of marriage. This could be an engagement in moving forward in a relationship with someone, moving to the next level of relationship with someone. This can also be just meeting someone too and getting to know someone. But whoever you're dealing with, you got the Lovers out. And lastly, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords, ending. It talks about an ending. You could have just ended something with someone. The Ten of Swords is, like I said, the ending of a cycle, but you don't just leave the Ten of Swords energy as the same person you were before. This kind of energy transforms you. So you could have left a long-term relationship recently or some while ago, but you're definitely not the same person you were before. You are newer. You are someone who's more open and ready to be vulnerable in your love life. And that's good, because you've got some, with this Lovers here, you've got someone who's ready to be vulnerable and open with you. And that's why you guys are moving towards an engagement. I like that. So lastly, I'm going to pull a Dorian Virtue Angels of Abundance Oracle card. Just something to keep in mind as you move towards your February. While I was shuffling your spread, I got the message that some of you really need to take into account of your mental health. Really distress this month. Remove any toxic people or any toxic habits out of your life, so that you are no longer inviting or attracting that energy of stress. I got the message, really. If you know any toxic people, if you've identified them, remove them. So, and what card comes out? Detox your friendships. Your abundance flow is being affected by the people with whom you're spending time. So be discerning about your associations and relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. I think that applies to both your love life, your general, your money, all of it. Detox your friendships. With that Page of Swords coming up, there is somebody in your midst who is not on your side, who is behind the scenes saying things but smiling right in your face. But what they don't realize is you don't care and you're moving on. You really don't care, because you are the Empress. You're moving on. So that is your February reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great February. I will see you again in March for the beginning of spring and the beginning of the new astrological year. And I will see you then. Lots of love. See ya.